What's up guys? In today's video, I'm going to be creating a few different blue-based eyeshadow looks to go with my hazel eyes. I talked about this in a few recent videos, but basically I'm not the most comfortable with blue-toned eyeshadows. It's not a color that I feel intuitively complements my natural color palette, and so it's just always one of those shades where it's not that I never use it, but it's definitely more in the adventure category for me. You know what I mean? And so I kind of wanted to push my comfort zone, and one of you guys in those videos where I talked about it recommended that I reach into a palette or a combination of shadows where I pair the blue, the color that I'm uncomfortable with something that is more approachable to me, like a bronze or a gold or something like that. And so I thought I would do that in today's video, but not just with one look, but a couple of different shadow combinations, because there are so many different kinds of blue out there and I want to experiment with more than just one. So a couple different looks, starting with this one, which will be using the Rimmel Magnifies Jewel Rocks edition. So let's go ahead and dive in. Okay, so I already have one eye done. For each of these looks, I'm gonna be creating like a pictorial kind of thing that you can pin and save for later if that's how you like to store your inspiration. But let's go ahead and do the other eye. To prime, I have already applied my MAC Soft Ochre paint pot. Now I'm gonna go in with my Magnifies Jewel Rocks palette. I'm only using two brushes for this look. First of which is a blending crease brush from Real Techniques. This is funky packaging or like exterior because it's part of a holiday collection, but I think they do have a permanent version of this brush, at least something similar within their permanent collection. And I'm first just going in with that matte mustard shade from the palette, sweeping that through my crease, like literally all the way from the end, all the way pretty much until where my brow bone is, almost blending it into my brow bone, and then really making sure I bring it pretty far up close to my eyebrow. Now getting right into the blues, I'm going in with the shimmery turquoise shade in this palette and my e.l.f. blending brush, and I'm gonna start patting that in the outer corner of my eye and blending it in towards about the center point of my eye. And this is a really like impressively pigmented shade from this palette, I think. I really like this e.l.f. brush because it's tapered enough at the tip to really get in your crease area, so I don't find that my shadow kind of bleeds up into my crease. It just creates this really nice, fuzzy, but precise line. Not quite done with that turquoise yet. I'm going in with the applicator that actually comes with this palette. One end has a brush as well as a sponge tip, and I'm going in that same turquoise shade and just running that along my lower lash line. I started smoking my lower lash line out quite a bit more than I used to, just because I find it balances my eyes out a little bit. I used to be too afraid to smoke it out as much as I have been for fear that it would feel too heavy, but I really find that it actually balances out a heavier smoky eye on my top lid. So I smoke that out quite a bit now on the lower lash line. Now for the bronze. Going in with the bronze shade in this palette, and again, the same brush that I used on my lower lash line, I'm pressing that in, starting with the bare portion of my eyelid, or at least what's left of any uncovered skin I have. So I really maximize the bronze pigment there. And then I just blend it in to that teal or turquoise. And the two together just create this really natural, well-blended blue-green gradient. Then for the inner corner and the lower lash line, I'm going in with the lightest two kind of yellowy green shades in this palette, and not only applying them to my inner corner, but then running them along my lower lash line so they really blend in with that turquoise shade. Not all the way along the lower lash line, just really like the inner third, I would say. And that's it for the shadows. I contemplated going in with the deeper navy in here, but I really wanted to retain the pretty turquoise blue in this look. So now I'm going in and taking the deep end 24/7 liner from Urban Decay and just lining my waterline with that. It's actually a really good match for that turquoise shadow that I used in the look. Okay, so now I have just finished applying my mascara. As always, it's my L'Oreal Voluminous Lash Paradise, and that is the eye look finished. Let's pick some lips real quick. So for the lips, I'm gonna go with a nude. I have a feeling that for all these blue eye looks, I'm gonna feel most comfortable in a nude lip, but I will try and branch out. But today is not that day. I am still on a Haus Laboratories kick, so I'm gonna go in with my Haus RAP lip liner in the shade On Point. This is the most nude shade that I have, and I'm going to both line and fill my lips. Oh, and the sheen that you see on my lips right now is just some leftover from my Lano Lips Lemonade Lip Treatment. It's my favorite go-to lip conditioner. Okay, and then once that is done, I'm gonna go in with the lip gloss. This is in the shade Corset, and this is actually the shade that came in the kit that I got. I have a whole review of the 3 sets that I bought from Haus Labs, and this is just the matching lip gloss that came with the shade on point. And that is the finished look. I really like how the turquoise brings out like the honey and amber tones in my eyes. I did not think that this turquoise was gonna be as flattering, but I think that bronzy tone kind of brings out the greenier tones in that turquoise. So surprisingly in love with this look. Let's go ahead and move on to the next one. Okay, so look number 2 is a little bit more dramatic, clearly, and I am using some multi-chrome shadows. I think these are called the jeweled multi-chromes from Cliona Cosmetics up here, because I figured I can mix in what is a very bold, brilliant blue that also has a very pretty but strong purpley shift. It's this shade here. I always hesitate to pick these up from the pan because they're in there so tightly. I don't want to fumble and mess them up. So I will just list the shade names in the description box below. Let's go ahead and get started on this look. So first I'm going in with this shadow. It is a beautiful deep red based chocolatey brown. It's the shade Chicory from the brand Looxi Beauty. It's kind of like an indie themed look, I guess. And I'm taking a Smashbox contour shadow brush to pack that all over my lid, and then I will slowly work and blend that up into my crease. What I like about this brush from Smashbox is it's tapered here on the end, so I can really push it up into the crease like this, even though I don't get a really like seamless fade. Once I push it up, I will then go in with a brush that's more like built for your crease. This is a Sigma E35, and that's when I really start blending it out there. And because doing this can kind of blend out shadow on my lid as well, I will alternate between this and then going back to my original brush to kind of pack shadow on the lid and then blend it out until I kind of have that perfect mix of pigment on my lid and blend throughout my crease. I'm also taking Chicory on my Morphe E36 and running that along my lower lash line as well to really create a nice smoky base for a different shadow that I'll be applying there too. Now for the color. Okay, so I'm actually going to foil this shadow using a mixing medium. This is the Esom Pro mixing medium. I just put a couple drops of that either directly into the pan or on the brush that I'm using. This is a dual-ended Anastasia brush, but I really just wanted kind of a flat yet still fluffy brush that I could really pack this pigment onto and build up and blend across my lid. And I'm just patting that all over my lid, starting at my outer corner, but it's really going to be all over at some point. So starting at my outer corner, I tend to blend in towards my inner corner, but I am stopping in my crease. And it's going to look like I have a little bit of a harsh line here until I go back in with that Smashbox brush from before and really blend it out with that tapered edge. And if you find you have a little bit of issue, like maybe you let your mixing medium dry a little bit too much and so it's having a hard time blending, I actually just go back in with that base shadow, in this case Chicory, just get a little bit of it on my brush and run that kind of precisely through my crease to help blend that out. Just helps get a nice, more even and smoother blend. Then for my lower lash line, I'm going in with a different shadow. This is a lime green with a vibrant teal shift to it on a pencil brush. This is a Delium Tool 716. And I'm just running that along my lower lash line, right where I smoked my lash line out before with the shade Chicory. And last, gotta complete this look with some liner on the waterline. This is my Marc Jacobs highliner in the shade Brownie. And like I said, I'm just gonna run that along my waterline to really complete the smoky effect of this look. Okay, so there's the eye look complete. On the lips, I'm keeping it super simple, just going in with the gloss. This is one of the Haus Labs glosses in the shade Venus. It has kind of a hint of a pink undertone to it, but is relatively sheer for the most part, primarily wearing this for the gloss and just the hint of tint it gives my lips. Okay, and that is it for the second look I have to share. I really like how this turned out, and once again, I find that I am wearing a really bold blue at some angles, shifting to a color I'm more comfortable, purple in others, but I love this look, and it's not really the first shadow out of all of these that I would have picked to wear just because of my hesitancy to wear blue. So yeah, that's it for the second look. Let's now get on to the third. Okay, so here I have the last look, and I went back to kind of the palette that started this whole mission, the Viseart Grande Pro 3 palette. It is when I was reviewing this a couple videos back that I had mentioned that I hadn't really gotten a great feel for this column of blues because it's just not my color that I tend to go to. So wanted to go back, and I pretty much used every single blue in this column on my eyes today, and I really like the look, so let's go ahead and get started on it. So first I'm taking a crease brush. This is the Esom W35, and going in with the second lightest blue shade in this palette, I'm gonna sweep that through my crease. And while I'm doing this, I should also mention, I think you'll be able to see it as I work with these shadows, but my one reservation of them kind of not swatching great, but not wanting to weigh in on the quality of them, having not really used them in an eyeshadow look, can safely say now I am thoroughly impressed with the pigmentation of these shadows and how easy they are to like blend out and work with without having them look kind of chalky and patchy like really colorful or pigmented matte shadows can sometimes. Next up, going in with a fluffy but still kind of flat shader. This is actually the one I used in the last look, the Smashbox Contour Shadow Brush, going in with the shade just above the one I just used in my crease. And I'm just gonna press that starting in my outer corner and working that in towards probably like the inner half of my lid, leaving a blank space because you can see here I have kind of a seafoam green that I wanted to pull in, again, just to make kind of me feel a little bit more comfortable with this whole all blue, all bold kind of thing. Then once that's down, I'm taking my Morphe E, what is this, 36, again, same one that I used in the last tutorial, and I'm using that to run that same shadow along my lower lash line to kind of smoke it out. Now, the shadow for the inner half of my lid is this gorgeous mint green right here. I actually used it in a look that I did in the review of this Grande Pro 3 palette. I really, really love it. I think the quality is awesome. The pigmentation is incredible. And it's just a really pretty minty green that I did not think I would love as much as I did. Because in the pan, it kind of comes off as a very vibrant but still very pastel kind of color, and that's another genre of shades that I just love looking at, but I'm never really confident in wearing on myself. So this one kind of surprised me, which is why I'm so eager to use it over and over again. Now I'm gonna start layering some really bold blues in my outer corner. First, starting with the brightest primary blue right up here. Once again, going in with that same brush that I used on my lower lash line, the Morphe E36, and stamping that in my outer corner and then pulling it in towards that seafoamy green. And then also while I'm here, running that along the outer third of my lower lash line. And then the last shade, and I think this is what really makes this look for me, is going in with this deepest navy blue. It's such a rich blue shade. Again, same brush that I just used for that primary blue, and once again, stamping it out here in the inner corner. And it just has so much pigment and creates such depth and drama out here that I just feel like that's really kind of for me when this look came together, and I was like, I am comfortable wearing bold blue shadows for like maybe the first time ever. And again, also taking that same shade right in the outer third of my lower lash line too, just for continuity's sake, making the bottom match the top. Which, by the way, is totally not something you have to do. It's just what I tend to like in my makeup look. Alrighty, now with that done, I'm gonna line my waterline. Once again, I'm gonna use my highlighter from Marc Jacobs in the shade Brownie, just because it's a shade that I'm comfortable with using in my waterline as opposed to a blue. Kind of adds one of those comfort zone shades into the look. Using that to line my waterline, and then I'm gonna throw on a couple coats of mascara, my usual L'Oreal Voluminous Lash Paradise, and I'll meet you back here for the lips. Alrighty, now onto the lips. Once again, because the eyes are so colorful and dramatic, I kind of want to keep my lips a little bit softer and nude. So I'm sort of between two glosses. I have my Smashbox Gloss Angeles in the shade Beachy Keen and Actors Guild. One is more of a cream and the other has some shimmer to it. I think I'm first going to go in with Beachy Keen and see how that goes. Okay, so I feel like this is a little warm for such a cool eyeshadow look, but I don't absolutely hate it. And I do think I prefer a cream finish over what the shimmery finish would look like with this all matte eyeshadow look. So let's keep it the way it is. I am so excited about these looks I created. I really do feel like I am more comfortable and confident wearing blue shadows on my eyes. So let me know if you enjoyed this kind of video just as much as I did, if you found it helpful, if you have, you know, hazel eyes and kind of were unsure about pairing blue shadows with it, or if you were just uncomfortable working with blue shadows in general and now you can see yourself using more of them in the future. Let me know down in the comments. Thank you guys so much for watching. Please don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already, and I will catch you in the next video. Bye guys!